faced with traveling good long distances, mostly our options are, well, commercial airlines. But for those who would like a more private, more, let's say, customized experience, private jets and helicopters are available to you. So today on V-Talk, I have a very special guest who has some services here in Thailand, and for all you expats, not just for in Thailand, but abroad as well. He is Mr. China Selawan, who is the chairman of Advanced Aviation. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, when people think of private jets and private helicopters, it's really stuff that comes out of Hollywood.
Right.
But it really is a viable option for businessmen and those who wish to travel not on the mainstream.
Right. I think there are pros and cons on travel by helicopter and private jets. It serves different purposes. The jet is more from the airport to the airport. Helicopter is more from point to point. It means that you don't have to depart from the airport and you don't have to arrive at the airport. So there are two complement things. That's why we operate both helicopters and jets.
Now, in our session before we went on air, you were talking about how your business actually started with a helicopter.
Yes.
What kind of demand was that? What kind of services are you offering?
Actually, we concentrate on the VIP helicopter charter. It's like a wholesale. You sell the whole helicopter for a group or a person for a mission. It is different from touristic things like in New Zealand or in the US, where you sell the helicopter per seat, that people queuing up and then buy tickets. That is a different philosophy of operation, and the price is completely different, because regardless whether you have a one person on board or full board, it's the same price.
And so as opposed to getting a tour of the Statue of Liberty, this one is really tailor specific. I need to get from point A to point B. I want it to be private, business oriented. I'm not having someone next to me who's maybe I don't know.
That's partly correct. We currently have 4 helicopters, 2 helicopters in Bangkok, which about 80% are for business. So that's for that purpose. 20% for leisure, for touristing, and we have 1 helicopter in Phuket, 1 helicopter in Chiang Mai. But Phuket and Chiang Mai helicopters, 80% are for tourists, and airport transfer to a remote resort.
Well, two questions spring to my mind immediately. Number one, I know I go to an airport to get a helicopter.
Right.
Do I have to go to the airport to get I know I need to go to the airport to get a plane. Do
Right.
I have to go to the same place to get a ride on a helicopter?
No, we do not put our helicopter inside the airport. That's our first beginning philosophy, because when you serve within the airport, you have to be bound by the airport procedures. For example, when we do the airport transfer from Suvarnabhumi to, let's say, Peninsula, if we pick up the airport from within the Suvarnabhumi airport, it means that arrival people has to deplane, go through the custom and immigrations, and then you go through the security into the domestic side, and you take the van, whatever we can get inside the airport, going to the helicopter, and the helicopter has to start up, queue up with other airplanes, and then take off. It's taking much longer. It's taking more expensive. Rather than we pick the customer up from the jetway, we breeze them through the fast track of immigration and custom. We put them in a limousine. We take them to our operation center, which is close to the airport, and then the passenger can relax in the lounge, or they want to go straight on board. We can start up, we can depart almost immediately.
Well, that makes sense. I didn't think about the fact that you have all those steps in between of just getting off the plane, just getting out of the airport.
Right.
And it makes sense. The whole point of having a helicopter is the convenience, is the speed of it.
Right. So that's why in Bangkok, we have near Suvarnabhumi. In Phuket, they're only 3 minutes from Phuket airport. In Chiang Mai, it's about like 5-7 minutes from the Chiang Mai airport.
Well, I know anyone who's ever sat in traffic going to or from the airport, a helicopter at times would seem like a miracle.
Right.
The second big question I know that people might ask about is, what about the safety? I can fairly trust an airplane. I kind of know how it works. Helicopter,
It's true, and during the first year, we struggled to put the message forward that helicopter is a safe mode of transportation. The helicopter is a sophisticated machine. I started the business mainly at the very beginning just for my dad, and then we thinking of selling the unused time. And then we found out that the demand is so big, so we decided to do it as a real business. But as for that, safety has to come first. When we chose the helicopter, we chose the best available at that time. It's still best available today. And secondly, we set up a joint maintenance facility with Eurocopter. Eurocopter is the world's largest helicopter producer. So the maintenance of the aircraft or the helicopter is the key to the safety, apart from the experienced pilot. Experienced pilot is not so difficult, you can handpick whatever available. But maintenance is something that is far more sophisticated. So that's why we set up the joint maintenance facility. All Eurocopters in Thailand, even for the royal family, flew in and do the periodic maintenance at our center. So it is done by the manufacturer, it is done by the professional. That is the to ensure that the safety is the utmost priority for us.
Absolutely. Now we've covered helicopter. You've just recently started jet service, private jet service as well.
Right.
What are your most popular routes? Where are people flying to?
Jet, as I said, is from airport to airport. But if you go to a very popular destination like Singapore, Hong Kong, where there are 20 flights, commercial flights a day, it is not much of a big advantage. You pay much more. A lot of people was thinking that private jet is slightly more expensive than first class. No, it's far more expensive than the first class. But if you go to the airport where there's no direct flights, very difficult connections, like islands in Indonesia, for like coal, oil, petroleum business, when you have to go to a not so popular destinations, you go via Jakarta, you change the plane, you have to wait for the plane, maybe the connection is not that nice, you arrive at another airport and then you may have to go for another few hours by car. But if you go private jet, you can depart from Bangkok, going straight to the island that you need to go. You do the business, and then you probably can come back in one day.
Very convenient. Well, I'm trying to do some of the math and some of the distances in my mind. I know some people think, well, private jets, aren't they kind of small? Aren't the leg, they don't really have long legs, they can't really go that distance, when in fact, you can get around to almost all of Asia, correct?
Yes. The aircraft that we are using is Gulfstream G200, which is called super mid-size. It is almost a big size, but it is still physically about mid-size, but the range is so great, so that's what they call super mid-size. Its endurance, it means that they can fly with reserve about 6.5 hours. That means that we can reach Tokyo to the north, we can Beijing, Shanghai. To the east, we can arrive at Perth. In the west, we can go all the way without stop in Dubai. That is quite a range. But if there is a super size, okay, they can go all the way further than that. But as a beginner, we just started with the regional size rather than the small size.
Well, I think having regional private air service is good no matter how far you are going. So very, very, very exciting. A fairly young company right now. I'm sure that as business is really starting to pick up here in Asia, we'll have AEC in a couple of years. Do you expect to see really this growth just kind of boom?
Actually, the growth is there. With Europe and the US economy is not doing so well. A lot of business is moving towards here. Not a problem, but it is an obstacle that we have to tackle is that when we compete regional, we have to incur what we call repositioning cost, which means that if the customer is using from Singapore, out of Singapore, going somewhere, we are competing at a disadvantage with the Singapore operator, which they have the aircraft in Singapore already. It means that we have to fly empty from Bangkok to Singapore, and after the mission we have to fly empty back from Singapore. Of course we charge the customer for that, which we call ferry flights, but then the customer will be comparing our cost, total mission price, with the local operator or with Indonesian operator.
Sure.
Same thing with Hong Kong, we're competing with the Chinese operator. So we are getting there. We think that our success in creating new demands from helicopter, which 5 years ago people didn't believe that we would survive. There was a helicopter operator born 20 years ago. They're still not growing. They still had one helicopter. We grow one helicopter a year. We are not in a big profit, but we were not in a loss in every year we did. So we think that the services, which is our things that we are proud of, would enhance the success of the jet. However, the jet is a bit more complicated in a way that it is further out.
Yes.
Helicopter is within Thailand mainly.
You can really control that.
Right. When there's something wrong, we can manage it better. Something wrong, I mean that there are difference of time, delays, permits, and things like that. So it was more manageable. But when it is further out, when the customer doesn't arrive on time, or the permits expires, and things like that. So that's much more challenges. But we still believe that we would do okay.
Well, thank you very much for coming today. And I know a lot of people who are watching right now, they're probably thinking, wow, I have to get myself on one of these chartered flights. I have to get myself a helicopter or a private jet. Where can they find out more information if they'd like to hire your services?
Okay, easiest way is you go to the website www.advancedaviation.co.th, and there are call center numbers there. There's Bangkok helicopter for helicopter is Bangkok call center, Chiang Mai call center, Phuket call center, and there's a jet call center which you can call anytime within 24 hours.
Wonderful.
Right.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today, and
very welcome.
I hope to find myself on one of your jets or helicopters in the near future.
Please do.
That's all from VTalk today, but don't go away because we have plenty more coming up on So This Is Thailand.
How to audition? What? Oh, hello. I'm Belinda and it's expat lifestyle, but when I was growing up, I always wanted to be an actor. Did you? If you did, I've got just the place for you. I loved live theatre, but unfortunately here in Bangkok, we really lack the ability to be able to go out and see all these good productions and live stage shows. But I found a group called the BCT, or the Bangkok Community Theatre, and I found out that they put on these live shows, or you can join in for backstage. It's good social activity. So I've found out that they're here at the wonderful grounds of the British Club in the middle of their rehearsals for their next upcoming production. So let me just check out a little bit more about my book, and then let's go talk to them, okay? Just 1 minute. Well, I found the two members I've been looking for. I have with me now, so Bonnie and John, thank you very much for joining me today. I'm really interested to hear about the upcoming production, but before we get into that, perhaps you can tell me a little bit about BCT itself, and Bonnie, since you've been one of the long-term members, that you're the best person to speak to.
Okay.
Actually, how long have you been a member of BCT?
I joined BCT when I first came to Bangkok almost 22 years ago. BCT was founded in 1972 when two pre-existing drama groups, an American one and a British one, joined forces. So yeah, it's been around for so they were around since the 50s. So community theatre or amateur dramatics has been around for a very long time in Bangkok.
So tell me, to become a member of BCT, or do you have to have any acting skills, or is there any sort of level criteria? Or?
Bangkok Community Theatre welcomes everyone, don't we? we need, of course we need actors and actresses, but to put on a show you need a whole lot more than that. You need volunteers to take tickets, hand out programs, make props, build sets, design costumes, make costumes. So we have members who have all those skills, and some of them have done that before, and some of them have never done it at all, and they're brand new, and they join simply because they want to meet some new people and have fun.
What about the different types? Is there a different range of productions? Do you have a special genre that you focus on?
We don't. We do everything. We've done children's theatre, participation plays, we've done musicals, we've done dramas, we've done classic comedy.
The money that you raise for BCT, is it a profit or a non-profit organisation?
It's a non-profit organisation. Most of our shows just break even, and we budget them to break even. We try to keep English language theatre affordable in Bangkok. But when we do make money, we donate to charity. And we've made, actually last year we donated to the Goodwill Foundation, we've donated to many organisations.
Wonderful. Okay, well John, I'm very excited. The next production, The Country Wife.
Yes.
Tell me about that. When is it? It's very soon, I believe.
From the 10th to the 13th of October. And yes, we're very excited about it because we've been rehearsing for two or 3 months now, on and off. We had a bit of a gap for the school holidays, but now all the actors are ready to go. We've got our dress rehearsal coming up very soon.
Right.
So, yeah, everyone's looking forward to it.
So lastly, before we go, how about contact details? If somebody, one of our viewers here is wanting to get involved with the BCT, especially for upcoming productions, behind the scene or on the stage, how do they do that? What's the best way? What contact?
Well, we have a website, which is
www.bct-th.org.
You can find us on Facebook. We have a page there.
Bangkok Community Theatre community page.
And for this particular show, we've got an email address that people can send an email to bct country@gmail.com. So that's probably the easiest way to tell you at the moment.
Brilliant. Well, all right. Well, good luck with with this production, with The Country Wife. I wish you all the best, and good luck with the next productions. And hopefully, some of our viewers, if you are interested in coming along and being part of the BCT, whether you come to this production, The Country Wife, in the next few days, or if you want to come for one of the other ones, now you can try your hand at acting or behind the scenes. As you heard Bonnie said, many volunteers are needed. So go to one of the contact sites, the website or the Facebook, and do yourself a favour, because it's definitely worthwhile. Thank you. Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Belinda.
Thanks.